Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So, in last episode, we unfortunately lost in the first round again, this time at the hands of the Edmonton Oilers. And yep, we're up here in the offseason looking to probably make a little bit of changes, not like over the top changes in a sense, but to make some changes to our roster in order for us to hopefully be a competitive team next season, because we definitely need to take advantage of the fact that Vance is on the contract that he currently is on. So once this contract comes to an end, if we don't win a Stanley Cup, he's going to be getting a lot more money, and our team's depth is probably going to suffer because of that. But since he's only making $8.375 million, it would be nice to win a Stanley Cup during this contract, and then afterwards we'd give him another 8-year extension regardless of the thing. But I want this guy to win as much Stanley Cups as possible, because he is turning out to be probably one of our best players that we've ever drafted if he continues on the pace he's on. He's been picking up 50 goal season after 50 goal season, it seems like, or on pace for at least, and he's never missed a game of his career at this point too. So by the time he's like 36 or 37, depending on when he's retiring, he could end up being like the best goal scorer of all time. So I'd like to keep him around as long as possible, and I want to be a competitive team while he's under contract, because or else he might end up trying to want to leave this team, and obviously I'm not going to want to have that happen. So, but before we get into the draft and resign stage, I do have a couple comments to go over. So the first one is from Hockey Guy 88. He says, "Tough way to go. I think you definitely let go of Comesso and let Pitten be your backup. I think you can also get one more good year out of Jari. I would also take Corrado with your first pick." So he's saying that he thinks we could get one more year out of Jari, who we brought in via free agency last year. I think we could potentially do that as well, but I might let him go to free agency just to see if there's any better goalie options out there before we do re-sign him. Right now he's trying to get $5 million, which is not really that bad for an 86 overall, but you can see he's 35, so there is a chance that he could slightly drop off. But we are going to be letting go of, more than likely, Drew Comesso, because Comesso has been very inconsistent, I should say. You could see like back in 2026, 2027, I thought this guy was going to be really good, like 915 save percentage, 5 shutouts, and then all of a sudden the last few years he's had like a 900 save percentage and below. He does pick up a lot of shutouts, which is good, but like his playoff numbers aren't good either. Like he's got a career 899 in the postseason, so we definitely need to make some changes to our goaltending core. So we're going to let go of both these guys more than likely, but we might sign Jari back up in free agency. And then he's also saying to let Pitten play as our backup for the season, which is interesting. We do have a lot of good young goalies. I honestly might not qualify Ratzlaff just because of Patterson being at 76 and being younger. Also Donald being on the uprise. Like, it's kind of pointless to have 3 goalies that are 70 plus in the AHL. Yeah, Rudy Pitten might get a chance as our backup next season. He was a former third rounder of us, so it'd be nice to give this kid a shot after 1 year only in the AHL, which is pretty interesting after coming over from the NLA. So yeah, he might be our backup next season. We might sign a goalie instead. Who knows what we do really, but I would like to have Pitten have an opportunity at least to be that backup goalie for our team this season. He was also saying to take Corrado with our first pick, which is the guy I was looking at the end of last episode, or near the end of last episode. What's interesting, though, is I was looking at this draft class again, and it turns out there's 3 NHL-ready players at the end of the first round. Now, some of them have top 6-4 potential, but still they are NHL-ready. These are the 3 guys: Ziska, Corrado, as mentioned by Hawksfan, and Patterson. So we are going to be taking Corrado with our pick, but I honestly might try and move some of our second rounders and some other players that we aren't going to be using, so we could get maybe another late first round pick or 2, because it would be really nice to draft all 3 of these guys, because Ziska, as you can see, solid 2-way forward. He is NHL ready, but he's only got top 6 potential, which is interesting, so he might be like a 76 or something out of the draft, but at 18 years of age, that guy would be pretty solid. We definitely would be taking Corrado, as Hawks fan was mentioning. He is NHL ready as well. He's probably a playmaker, my guess, just because he's compared to Nick Backstrom. So he would be an interesting piece to bring in. And then there's also Rodney Patterson, who is also listed as NHL ready. He's like Milan Lucic, so he is probably more of a power forward type, my guess. Or he could even be a grinder or an enforcer, something like that. But regardless, it'd be nice to draft all 3 of these guys and have them all play on the same line at some stage, since they're all opposite positions. but I don't know if I'll be able to get all those first round picks. Like, I'll definitely take Corrado with our own first round pick, I think. But moving 3 seconds, I should be able to get a late first rounder to get one of these guys. But I don't know if I'd be able to get the other one. Like, I do have guys I wouldn't mind moving out, like Kurashev, for example, Reichel, who's pending UFA. I might trade one of our prospects that is not going to be getting signed just because he's too low of an overall. That type of thing, and maybe we'll be able to get all these guys in this draft. And then there's also a guy we're definitely going to be getting in a later round, which I showed you guys also at the end of last episode, a lowly potential guy in Gustav Skabanov, who's 19 years of age and only 2 years out. So hopefully we can get all 4 of those players in, because if we can, this draft might be very instrumental in terms of turning our team around in terms of the bottom 6 and all that type of thing. So, but anyways, that was that comment. The next comment is from Pens Gaming 7. He says, pretty disappointing playoffs. I know you're unwilling to, but big changes need to be made. Something to shake it up. You cannot keep the same team next year. On the positive side, Nazar was very good through both the regular season and playoffs, and has definitely locked down the first line center spot. So I don't agree fully with what you're saying about like kind of making a big change, because a lot of I think most of the change that this team needs is like bottom 6 oriented. Because obviously I'm not going to be trading away somebody like Vance, Nazar, Pedersen. Those 3 guys are all really young still, so it's kind of pointless to trade one of them away. But guys like, I would say like Olesen, for example, guys like not Holton or Recchi, because those guys are also part of the future. Guys like, who else was the other one? There was some other players as well. I had like Kurashev and stuff like that. Yeah, Kurashev, for example, Zari, Reichel, Stankoven, those type of guys are the type of guys that could get changed up. Kurashev, especially since he's got 1 more year left on his contract. The other guys are pending UFAs, so I might just let go of one of them. But I would try and trade Kurashev probably, because maybe he's kind of like got that losing way stuck in his head from the old Blackhawks days when Jonathan Toews and stuff was still here. So there is a chance we will change up the bottom 6, but like the top 6, I don't really want to make much changes to, because when we got guys like Bales and the guys that we're going to be drafting in this episode coming up and stuff like that, it's not really necessary to fully like kind of implode the team, I'd say, in a sense. Pens was also saying maybe get another star in either defense or goaltending, so we might look for a good defenseman free agency wise in next episode. I don't really know, but Len Morris is going to be jumping to the NHL, which means Sam Bolduc could be knocked out. I don't really know what else we need to do to change up this team's defensive core, but if there's any of these guys that you would trade away potentially in next episode, let me know, because I'll probably end up trading away somebody in free agency if there is a better defensive option out there in free agency. If not, we could always try and sign ourselves a better goaltender, but that's if we don't want to use Pitton as a backup, and if we want to let go of Jari completely and not bring him back. And then the last comment is from Saturn Otaku, who says, you lost in 5 games to a goalie named Ned. Oof. And yeah, that is true. Losing to a guy named Ned is not a great sign. This was, oh yeah, Nedic Pozo. He's kind of like Ned Flanders, you know, and I'm Homer Simpson. Yeah, the Austrian goalie. Yeah, that guy was really good in the round because, yeah, look at his numbers. That's from playing against us, right? And in a little bit of the second round, he was unreal. And then Samsonov came in because Samsonov was injured in that round. So, but anyways, that is that. Let's see what we could do here draft-wise and Resign stage-wise. But yeah, I'm gonna try and definitely get some late first-round pick, at least maybe 2 late first-rounders, so that way we could potentially draft all 3 of those players, because that would be a really great way to build up our prospect pool on offense a bit more. So let's get into this draft and see who has some late first-rounders that we could potentially trade for. I don't normally try and move up at the draft too often, but this time around I want to do that. So Ottawa wants to move their pick, which is good. Where are these guys supposed to go again? We might need to move up a little bit earlier than that. So Patterson and Ziska, 30 and 27, or 29 and 27. So if I got traded for like 25 and 26, I should be able to get both of them. The only question is, are we going to be able to move up to 25 and 26? Pittsburgh wants to move 24. Florida wants to move 26. Okay, so we should be able to get both of them here, hypothetically, unless Colorado takes one of those guys. But Pittsburgh, I know I just made a trade with you last offseason, so hopefully you're lenient to take back your own second-round pick. I know it doesn't seem like they want to do that. I could give them still... I'll give them our second rounder from New Jersey and... Would you guys take like our I don't want to give our fourth rounder because it could ban off. Let's do our fourth rounder and we'll give you back... Or wait, actually New Jersey's fourth rounder and we'll give you back your own fourth round pick to get that first round pick. What do you guys say to that? That should be a good deal. Unless we want to move a third for next year instead. Which I think I'm okay with. I actually do want the third for next year, so let's try that instead. So 42nd overall, so they're moving back quite a bit, but they get an extra third rounder for next year. Rejected, okay. Maybe I'll have to do the 2 seconds. Let me give you guys your own second round pick. This is funny. That's accepted, so they get back their own second round pick, and we give up one of our seconds from New Jersey that we got in the Brock Besser deal. But now we have 2 first round picks in this first round, which is great. So we now should be able to get one of those other NHL ready prospects, and now we'll try and trade with Florida for pick 26. And then we'll be able to get all 3 of those guys, hopefully. It might be a little bit weird to do this, but I think this is a good draft to do it in. So we will give up, I guess, our own second round pick in this deal. And maybe our third for next year to see if that's enough. It's a couple spots behind, so maybe it would work. We might have to give up a prospect. Actually, I know what I could do here. I said about moving out one of our prospects that I don't think is going to make it. He is a pending free agent because of the fact that we're more than likely not going to sign him. But he does have top 4 potential, so he might actually have some trade value. It was Jocelyn. Yeah, Jocelyn, I would trade him to Florida, and that way they get a good prospect that they could potentially sign in another second rounder. And of course, there's a trade that our draft pick that happens. Nikolitin going to New Jersey. Looks like a pretty good player there for the Devils. 83 out of the draft. So, but yeah, I'm gonna trade for this 26th pick as well, so we could get another good prospect in. Hopefully, we could get all 3 of these guys because. Literally, like, I would really love to have them all on the same line at some point. Because imagine drafting, like, one line in the same draft. Like, it's pretty awesome if that's the case. So we will give you guys our second rounder for this year. We'll also give you guys the youngster in the defender that I'm not going to be signing in Jocelyn. He's just way too low of an overall, but he's got good potential. So hopefully they end up signing him. But that should work. Yep, there you go. Perfect. So we have 3 first round picks now. We should be able to get all 3 of the guys we want. Let's take a look and see what ends up going in the rest of this top 5. Seattle number 2 is going to take Sanderson, who's an 81 two-way forward. Tommy Sanderson. Yeah, this guy's looking pretty good. This guy's probably a future Selke winner. That's my guess. We'll see if that ends up being the case. Calgary at number 3 is going to take Robichaud, who's an 81 power forward medium elite. It's pretty good. And then we got Washington at 4, who's going to take Eaton, who's also an 81 power forward. Damn, this top 5 is pretty good overall wise. Like, sometimes you get draft classes where these guys would be going first overall, so this might be a really solid draft class, which is nice. And an 81 sniper goes 5th overall. So yeah, all these guys are really solid picks for the top 5. Sergei Afanaganov, you could say the son of Maxim Afanaganov, goes to the Rangers. Okay, let's into our pick at number 20 here and grab Corrado, who will be our first pick. You should still have all of our boys available, right? Yep, okay, good. We're going to take Corrado with this pick. Then we'll probably take Patterson next. Or maybe Ziska next, actually. Then we'll take Patterson. And then we'll probably end up taking Kabanov 4th round. Because now we don't have any second rounders in this draft, right? Or third rounders. So Kabanov will end up being our next pick after that. But I think it will definitely work out in our favor. So, yeah, Corrado, welcome aboard. You look pretty solid. I'm guessing you're a playmaker just because you're compared to Nick Backstrom. Oh, shit, those early second rounders, medium elite, guaranteed. But he's 3 years out at 20. Damn, maybe I should have kept a second rounder. Huh. That's interesting. Let's take Corrado here anyways. And he's a 77 overall top 6 playmaker. That's not too bad. He does also have tape to tape. Not bad. Might be something decent for our bottom 6 or our third line or maybe even a top 6 line at some point. I do like that pick. Let me see. Wait, view draft class, draft board. Do we still have anything that we could maybe get for a late third rounder? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to getting the 20-year-old medium elite because he's probably not going to reach that high ceiling. Watch, he's going to end up being a stud of a player, but we're going to end up getting our other top 6 forwards in this draft, and then we're going to be able to grab ourselves that low lead in the 4th round. So there is Corrado. Let's go advance a couple picks to our next pick, and hopefully we get those other guys that we tried to trade up for. And looks like we're going to be able to get one here, which is great. This time around, we're going to take Ziska. Yeah, we're going to take Ziska here. He's a pretty big guy, 6'4", 204 for a two-way forward. So here we go, Vaclav Ziska. 77, top 6 forward. Let's go. Yeah, this is a really solid draft. When you get two guys that are literally AHL eligible or AHL wise, they would be AHL top 6 forwards at this point. That's pretty good. Better defensively than he is offensively. Not too bad. He does also have elite edges, so there is 2 solid first round picks. Oh, there's Jokela, who is medium elite. Damn, we missed out on a medium elite defenseman. He goes to the Avs, but oh well. And here we will be able to grab ourselves Mr. Rodney Patterson, who I'm very excited about. I think he might end up being the best out of the 3 if he does have that good of shooting and stuff like that. He might honestly be a really good goal scorer down the road. So, Rodney Patterson, welcome aboard. He's also a 77. Wow, that is actually kind of hilarious. So, the 3 of those guys all might play on the same line at some stage. And Patterson has Crease Crasher. Interesting. Really good shooting categories. Like, I mean, like, this guy is one of the best shooters probably out of the draft. 88s across the board. If that offensive awareness goes up a lot, he could end up being a very solid goal scorer for us. So, we get 377 overall top 6 forwards. And there is a chance that all 3 of them play on the same line at some stage in their career. Because I would really love to do that. Just hopefully all 3 of them develop at, like, the same pace. That would be really neat. So, let's sim to our 4th round pick here. Wait, let me just make sure Kabanov is supposed to go still around that stage. Or am I going to have to move up? No, I'm going to be able to get him at 116. Okay, good. Just had to make sure with that. We could always try and get another pick in this first round, but I don't think I really want to do that. So, I don't want to sacrifice future drafts, really. So, let's get Kabanov here in the 4th round, and that should be a big steal for our team. Low lead potential, and he's only 2 years out at 19. So, and he's from Lithuania. That's the country. So I was right when I guessed in the last episode. So yeah, Gustavs Kabanov, welcome aboard. Let's see how good you are. 69 overall. Wow, that's pretty solid for a 4th rounder at 19. He does also have X factors. God damn, we're having a really good draft here, guys. We are having probably one of the best drafts we've ever had. And yeah, wow, he looks really good out of the draft in a sense. Like, he's more defensively minded since he's a two-way forward. But he does have also good passing, and he's got really good at skating and stuff. So hopefully he can help out on the offensive categories as well. But we have a lot of really good two-way forwards. So, like, we might end up being a very solid defensive team down the road. But yeah, Ivanov, not too bad. He could play center and right wing, but his face-offs aren't good. So probably would use him as more of a right winger. But that is a pretty good draft for us so far. The rest of these picks probably not as good because the draft class usually drops off a lot here. But we'll see if we're able to find any steals at this stage, which I'm really doubting. Did I pin anybody else? There might be a little lead there in Payer. No, I didn't pin anybody else in this draft class. So we honestly might not get any good picks again. But well, at least we had 4, I'd say, slam dunks of picks. So we will probably end up taking a defenseman at this stage. I don't really know. Maybe I'll go with Payer. He's 5 years out. I could go with a low top 4 and Brewer, but I don't know. I don't know if he's guaranteed to be a low top 4, but he's 4 years out at 18, which is not bad. Yeah, you know what? Let's take Jackson Brewer. Get ourselves another defensive prospect. Low top 6 D. Damn. I was hoping he'd be low top 4 at least, but probably not going to make it, but I can't complain when we've had a really solid draft up to this point. So let's take our last pick of this draft here. Boudreaux, 5 years out. maybe I'd take him. He's already 20 years old, though. Low top 9. Usually don't pan out really that good. Low bottom 6. I'll just sort by potential, see if we could find somebody here. Maybe a low elite here. Probably not. If he is a low elite, he's a really low overall. Solovyov. Yeah, let's take a chance with Solovyov. Why not? He is a low elite. Okay, 52 overall sniper. I would say he's probably not going to make it, but if he does, we literally had 5 players out of the 6 picks that we've had that might make it to the NHL. So that is our entire draft because we do not have a 7th rounder. So there is our draft. We get Corrado, Ziska, and Patterson, which I'm very excited about. Kabanov, who I'm also really excited about. Brewer, who probably isn't going to make it, to be honest. And Solovyov, who might make it if he gets a lot of growth. But regardless, a very, very solid draft for our team. Now let's get to this re-sign stage here. And let me see what we got here. Let's re-sign some coaches, because I wouldn't mind bringing back our assistant coach, even though he doesn't want to be an assistant coach. If we end up losing him, so be it. Let's give him 987,000. And yeah, sure, why not? There you go. Those guys should hopefully all accept. If they don't, like I said, we could always find new coaches in the next episode as well. And let's re-sign our scouts as well while we're at it. And then we'll have to make some tough decisions here in this offseason in terms of the re-sign stage. I didn't end up trading Khrushchev like I was hoping I would, but we still have time this offseason to trade away somebody on the bottom 6 like Khrushchev, or even just letting go of Zari or something like that. Like rework that bottom 6 a bit to be more, I don't know, offensive in a sense, so we could have more like depth scoring, because that'd be great. Let's re-sign you as well, Menard and Akeson or Akeson. There you go. Now we'll get to the re-sign stage. Oh yeah, Connor Recchi's contract is up as well. I forgot about that. We'll re-sign him up to, I might give him an 8-year deal already, to be honest, because he doesn't want a lot, and I think he's worth it, to be honest. I'll open up my calculator, and that way I could do an 85% trick if it works, because I wouldn't mind keeping Recchi here for till he's 30 years old, which would be kind of crazy. So he's impressed me so far with this team, so let's do the 85% trick if it works. Might be able to get him down to 5.655. We'll try that. Actually, I went above it already. Let's go to, yeah, right around this stage. That should be good. If he accepts that, that would be really nice. Datsuk, on the other hand, wow, he's pretty expensive already. But he's a low lead defenseman we drafted in like the 5th or 6th round, I think. So, ooh, he's actually really close to being a UFA already. Huh. I might just qualify him for now, but he will be playing on our top 6 this year. I am also going to qualify a bunch of other RFAs, but I think I am going to be letting go of Gavin Hayes, even though he is technically like an NHLer. He is kind of disgruntled, apparently, because of his ice time. I saw that after I recorded last episode, so I will probably let him walk just to kind of free up some roster spots. Pitton, yeah, we'll give you 800,000, why not? On a one-way deal, and I do think we're also going to let go of Ratzlaff. Even though he's technically like a backup goalie almost at this stage, I need to free up some room, so we're going to let go of Ratzlaff, and then we'll go over to our UFAs here, which we have some big ones up for renewal, some okay ones, I'd say, more bottom 6s than anything. But let's sign Lowry up to his ELC, since he's a 76 medium elite at 20. It's pretty good. We'll also sign, oh yeah, there was a couple other guys. Kavana. We'll let go of Healy because Healy's not going to make it. I might sign Schwartz because this guy was a 2nd round pick. So, you know what? We'll sign him. And then I am also maybe going to sign Bass. Maybe not. And maybe I won't sign him. I'll let him walk. And we'll sign Volkov back up for 1 more year in the AHL if he wants to sign. And let me go to goalies here. Oh yeah, there's the rest of these guys almost I could let go of. But I'm going to have to make some decisions with that. Let me go to the unsigned first. I might leave it for now, but it's up to you guys. What do you think we should be doing here? In terms of all these like youngsters, like Kabanov, should he play in the AHL this year? Inamaki, should he already be jumping to the AHL? Probably. Since he was our 9th overall pick last year. We gave him 1 year in Breenas, so we could bring him into the AHL this year. And then the 3 guys we drafted this year in the first round, do we wait 1 year? Or do we sign them right away since they're all listed as minor scoring forwards? I'll probably leave that for you guys to decide for next episode, but for right now, I'll leave them as unsigned players. But I don't know if we'll have the contract room to bring them all in, but we'll definitely see if we're able to or not. In terms of the rest of the NHL team, I am going to be letting go of Simon Bolduc or Samuel Bolduc. Yeah, I'm going to be letting go of this guy just because of the fact that we do have Len Morris, who's going to be jumping to the top 6 next season. So, Bolduc is gone for now. I wouldn't mind bringing back Stankoven as depth. He's not bad. Like, he's played decently as a depth option. 18 points in, I guess, 53 games. It's not bad. Do I bring him back? I don't really know. He's young still, but there is other options in the AHL at some point. And maybe I'll give him a 1 year deal just to kind of maybe be a bench player, maybe be a roster player, because we are going to probably let go of Reichel here. Because maybe that's part of why we're losing games. He's not really that good at faceoffs, and he's been here forever. Yeah, he's not a bad offensive player. He just actually had a career season, but yeah, he doesn't really do much playoff-wise, and that's what we need is players that could actually perform in the postseason. So yeah, Lucas Reichel, thank you for your time here. You are gone as well. In terms of Olsen and Zari, Zari is our third-line center at the moment. He's got decent face-off stats. He's picking up a decent amount of points for a third-liner. His face-off numbers are pretty solid, at least last season they were. Does give up the puck more than he takes it away. Doesn't really pick up a lot of points playoff-wise either. I don't really want to get completely rid of our depth, so I might be willing to do a 1 year deal for him. I don't really know. I am going to also let go of David Ferentz for now as well, just because we need to free up those roster spots. What about Olsen? What is he wanting? 3.15, and how much points did he have last year? He had 19 goals, which is a career high. He had 33 points, which is also a career high. He has been technically getting better, but once again, this guy does not perform playoff-wise. Yeah, I think I got to let go of Oscar Olsen as well. Like, these guys, if they were performing in the playoffs, I would definitely hold on to them. But I think I'm going to let go of actually both of them for now. Because maybe that's what the changes we need to make, is we need to get better depth scorers, because these guys just are more defensively minded. We need somebody that could help contribute to offense on that third line. And, yeah, neither of these guys have been really doing that postseason-wise. So, yeah, let's go rid of Olsen and Zari. It's a little bit weird to do that, but we are going to change up the bottom 6 quite a bit here this offseason. And then goalie-wise, I am going to be letting go of both goaltenders for now. There is a chance we bring back Jari. There's probably no chance we bring back Meso, just because of how bad he is. But yeah, this team definitely needs to go through some changes here. Not like substantial changes, but we're going to let go of both goaltenders as well, just to give us a clean slate. And do I try and still re-sign Hayes? He's actually not that bad, but he wasn't really happy morale-wise with ice time. And I don't want to keep on using him as a depth forward, so I think I won't qualify him, to be honest. Let's see if Recchi accepts that long contract that we gave him, though, because that would be really nice if he did. Because he is a key piece to this team's future, I'd say. At least top 6-wise, or maybe third-line-wise, depending on how good our team gets. All these scouts accepting. Gordon Lowry accepting his ELC, not a surprise. Recchi rejected the amount that we offered him. He doesn't like the 8-year extension, but we are going to still try and give him an 8-year extension. He only wants 4 years. I will give him exactly what he's asking for 8 years. I think it's a cheap price point. So let's do 6.5 for 8 years. That should be able to get it done. So I don't know if he wants to commit to that long term of a team with the team, but I mean, he's going to be a key piece to this team if he ends up signing that. So let's advance and see if he accepts that again. And there you go, he is accepted. So Recchi is on board for 8 years. Volkov rejected in the AHL, which is interesting. Let's give him a max two-way deal. And that should get him to accept, I would assume. Yeah, it looks like he already accepted. Yep, okay, good. Okay, so we have $18 million in cap space. Obviously, Datsuk's going to be the most expensive RFA remaining. Yeah, I don't really know how long this guy's going to be a part of this team for, because I didn't realize he was like a UFA within a couple seasons only. But like if we go up to 8 years, this guy wants $6.3 million as like a top 6 defenseman. So we're going to have him qualified. And then, like I was mentioning with these guys, Corrado, Patterson, Ziska, Niittymaki, Kabanov, do we sign any of them to their ELCs so they could play in the AHL right away? I'd say Niittymaki for sure, since he's been 1 year out. Like he was drafted. He played 1 year in Breenas. Maybe playing at the AHL level would be good for him now. These three, on the other hand, I don't really know if I want to rush them or not. It'd be interesting to have all three of them playing the AHL this season, but it's up to you guys on that front. And also Kabanov as well probably should play in the AHL, but we might let him get 1 more year of growth. I don't really know. But let's take a look at what our team has right now. So we got Vance, Nazar, Pedersen, Kurashev, Stills, Stankoven, and then there's Ziska, who's unsigned at the moment. He's our best, next best player, so maybe he should play in the AHL because he'd be like an AHL first liner. But basically, Nazar would be actually playing center, Vance would be playing the wing, Pedersen would be second line center, Kurashev probably third line center at this stage, and Stankoven on the fourth line. Then we also have Bales and Little. Patterson's almost technically ready to play on that fourth line. Like, we could honestly play all the 77s in the NHL if we really wanted, but I think it would stunt their growth, to be honest. And then we have Besser, Recchi, and Holtonen, as well as Hayes, which I'm letting go of. But basically, we got 3 roster players there, 4, 5 for sure, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So technically, we could use 2 more forwards to like help round out our bottom 6. Or even we could add like a top 6 forward if we really want to, but there's that. And then defensively, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 once Datsuk accepts. We could probably use a 7th D, so I'll write down that we needed like a 7th defenseman, and we could probably use 2 to 3 more forwards, maybe 4 more forwards even, because 2 depth, I'd say 2 depth, let me write this down on a piece of paper, and 2 roster players. And goalie-wise, we need 1 goalie at least, 1 goalie, maybe 2 goalies, depends on what we want to really do. So there's that. Let's sim up to free agency and take a look at what's available. And then we'll take a look at the trading block as well. And I think that'll be it for this episode. So, yeah, I don't want to tender a qualifying offer to Hayes. A lot of AHL guys accepting, not a surprise here. Our AHL head coach was not renewed. Huh. Interesting. I don't really need to bring him back an AHL coach. I feel like they'll find me a good candidate for that. But still, that kind of sucks. Okay, let's take a look at the trading block. Actually, not the trading block yet. Let's take a look at free agency first. So I said 2 to 4 roster players. Well, 2 roster players, 2 depth forwards potentially. And then we'll look at defenders. Wait, did I see a 70 that was demanding a lot of money? Let me take a look at this again. Oh, it was a 78. It was Stamkos demanding $7.75 million as a 78 at 40 years old. God damn. Maybe it wasn't actually. I don't really know. But Suzuki's available. That's a really good forward. But I don't really know if we want to bring in a top player. Let me just scroll through this to see what's available. But if you guys want me to bring back players I let go of, let me know. Because maybe we could bring them back. But I think changing up the bottom 6 might be good for this team. Wyatt Johnson's relatively cheap. We don't have a whole lot of money to work with. but we should be able to find some cheap options out there. Like Bordelot, actually Bordelot wants 2.75. That's kind of expensive. But yeah, there might be some options out there. RFA still for this guy. Damn, I was hoping it'd be UFA somehow. 80 at 25. UFA? Yep, UFA and Cristal. Interesting. Really good offensively. That could maybe help with depth scoring, but... Hey, look, Ryan and Michael McLeod. Aren't they brothers, I think? Right? Oh, and I went to the top of the list, goddamn. I think they're brothers, so that'd be kind of funny if they were. Left wing-wise... Yeah, there is definitely some good options out there forward-wise to help out with our depth scoring on our bottom six if we want to completely change it. Or we could even, like I said, we could sign those guys that we just drafted and let them play on like a third line or a fourth line and just see what they do. Because who knows what they could do. Brent Hartnell was a former third-rounder of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's a UFA. That might not be a bad option. He doesn't want a lot. Young guy, too, only 25. Might be good for the bottom six. Maybe he's more defensively minded, though, so maybe it wouldn't be good. We want guys that could score potentially down there, right? So, but if you guys see anybody that's very intriguing, let me know and I might sign them. So there we go in terms of right wingers. Defensively, if we want to add another stud defenseman, well, my boy Jake Sanderson's there. And he looks pretty good. Pretty damn good in terms of point production. I just don't really know where he would fit on this team. Like, we'd have to get rid of Korchinski, I guess, and replace him with Sanderson. I don't really know. But $9 million is a bit expensive. But if we want to just get a general top four defenseman, there is definitely an abundance of them. But I wouldn't mind playing Len Morris in the NHL next season, so I don't really know if a defenseman's something we fully need. Unless it's a depth defender. So, I don't really think this is like a high priority thing. And then goalie-wise, just because we do need a starter and we could use a backup potentially. Hey, look, Jarry went, is not got any teams interested in him. Either does Comesso. There is a chance we could always bring back Jarry, but then he would take away $5 million of our cap space. So, if we want to bring in a younger goaltender, Sebastian Kosa's there. He looks actually, has his playoff numbers. Not great. But Kosa's there. He wants 4.775 though, if we're wanting younger goalies. Not really a stud goalie out there, I would say, in this free agent pool, but there we go in terms of that. Final thing, let's take a look at the trading block. Is there anything interesting in terms of the trading block this offseason that we could potentially make a blockbuster trade with? No, we do not want Sam Girard back. Victor Soderstrom. Dylan Strome. Paul. Oh, wait. Jimmy Paul. Yeah, I remember Jimmy Paul when he was drafted. I was going to say. Tara Vinen, but still a lot of money making. Lehkonen. Other than that, it doesn't seem like there's really a lot on the block this offseason. Fabry, Ekblad. Ekblad would be a good stud defender, but 2 years left still. Nazarov, pending RFA, or currently an RFA. Is a former 17th overall pick. Huh. Not that we need to trade for a defenseman, but... Pesci, Shabbat with 5 years left still, goddamn. Brainstorm with 2 years. But yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. Comtois, Hurdle, Kucherov, like a lot of these guys are pretty old. Carlson, Simon Holmstrom. So it's like, I don't really know if we need to trade for anybody. We might just have to sign some players. Essa Lindell is a shutdown D-man, kind of. Schneider is on the block in Vegas. Somebody said I should have held on to Braden Schneider. Well, what if we trade back for him, huh? Because we did trade for him a few years ago. He was not that bad with us. He would be an okay top 6 defenseman, but the thing is, it would take away time from Len Morris, who is probably ready to take that leap, so... And him and Datsuk would play together, so... Nick Ehlers, but still making a lot of money for 3 more seasons, and same with PLD. It's not really a whole lot of interesting stuff on the block in that case. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So next episode, we'll take it to free agency. We'll try and rework our bottom six. And then we'll start up the season simulation and hope that Asher Vance could get off to a good start again, and hope that this team could go further in the playoffs this upcoming season, if we get to the playoffs, that is. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.